Hello YouTube, Max One Chase One. Today's video will be on the changing of the thermostatic switch that controls the radiator fan. And the problem that I'm having is that once I turn the key switch on, the radiator fan comes on. So I'm thinking that the thermostatic switch is stuck in the closed position and it's not opening up once the temperature is low enough that the fan is not needing to be run. It's constantly running. So what I'm going to do is that to keep it from breaking loose and not making contact again, I'm going to change it now and put a new one in. I'm going to show you the steps that I'm taking out to remove the parts and how to get access to the thermostatic fan switch. Now, as you can see, this is my bike, the F4B, the chicken wing. My side air scoop that I'm going to remove that's not part of the factory specifications, installments or parts. So I'm going to go around that. Alright, stand by and we're going to get ready to get into this. Okay YouTube, here are some of the tools you're going to need to remove the thermostatic switch on a GL 1200 84 Honda Goldwing. First you're going to need a Phillips screwdriver to remove the side lower coverings for that screw there. There's a screw here and one down at the bottom. I can't find it. Alright. When you get ready to drain your fluid, here's a screwdriver for the clamp, to loosen the clamp. You need a container to catch your fluid. After the fluid is caught, then you're ready to wind up and remove the thermostatic boot. You're gonna need a pair of pliers. I prefer these slip joint pliers. Don't give you that access to reach up in there. So you're gonna need to have these type of pliers that will reach up in here like this, so you can grab the boot and pull it off. And that is just to pull it off the connection points on the thermostat switch. After you pull the boot off, you can need a 27 millimeter deep well socket. You can see it says 27. This is a 5-inch extension. Could have went a little bit longer, but an extension is going to be required because you got to have the room to turn the ratchet out here. Then you're going to need a good ratchet, whether it's a 3/8, half-inch, or whatever you want to use, as long as you have a deep well 27 millimeter socket. And then after that, you can go ahead and it's not on there that tight. It's just on there snugly, and you can kind of see that the 27 millimeter socket do fit that exactly in millimeters. Don't try to use SAE. It's got to be millimeter. All right. Again, this is your first time hearing about it on YouTube. It takes a 27 millimeter socket for that thermal switch to come off. Okay YouTube, let's go ahead and get started. First you have to wind up and take off your lower fairing. You don't have to worry about taking anything else other than the lower fairing. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my air scoop off. I already removed 2 of the screws already, but this lower fairing piece, you've got a bolt or screw right here that need to be removed. That screw to be removed, one here, and if you still got this fairing piece that goes across, you can remove that one screw that's right here. But since I don't have it, I don't worry about that small piece going across. I got something else planned for that. And then after that, you can just go ahead and remove this whole piece. Alright? Okay, I've removed all the screws. So all I can do is you can take this out. and then just remove the whole lower portion of the fairing piece. That'll expose the right side of the bike. Now you can kind of see up in there. I need to get up in that area here. Here at this point, I'm gonna wind up and drain the radiator, so I can move the radiator a little bit forward, because that place I need to get to is right there. Alright, since I've taken off this lower fairing here, you don't have to do it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the horn on this side. You can kind of see it's just kind of in the way a little bit. I'm just going to take it off and push it off over here on the side. Just get it out the way. Put the bolt back so you don't lose it. And where I need to go is I need to remove this boot, and these are the two wires that are connecting to that thermostatic switch that's right there by the thermostat that's right behind it. Alright, this cord here, this is your fan switch. You can disconnect this as well. If I can get to that without having to drain the radiator, well, without having to move the radiator out, I will, but I'm gonna have to drain the radiator because this is absorbing some of the heat from the radiator fluid. So I'm gonna wind up and drain some of the radiator fluid out. Make sure you go ahead and get your container so you can drain your fluid into a safe container and dispose of it properly. This would be a good time for you to go ahead and just exchange your antifreeze, because it is getting ready to turn into fall here. This is August, near the end of August for us here in Virginia. So I'm gonna be ready for the winter with the fresh antifreeze in it. Alright, let me wind up and see if I can move that boot back to see if I can get access to it, so I don't have to worry about unscrewing the radiator and try to move it out a little bit so I can get a wrench on that. Alright, stand by. Now here at this point, like I said before, here's the fan switch. I disconnected and just pushed it out of the way a little bit. Now you do have this little holding clamp for the other part of the fan wire here. I just push it open and gave me access to move the fan wire up and over the back. Now with this boot for the thermostatic fan switch, also it's good to have good lighting so you can see what you're doing. I've got one of these from Harbor Freight, or either one of your home improvement centers. They're good to have for good lighting. Notice you got a green wire on the left and a black wire on the right. So you're reaching there to pull this plug off. There's a prong that goes in here and a prong that goes into there. Make sure you keep them in the right order when you get ready to put it back on. Green left, black right. Alright, I'm gonna try to see if I can pull it off by hand. If it did, I had to use my pliers and try to just work it and jiggle it off. Again, notice you have the thermostat housing that's right on the back side of that. If you want to change the thermostat, you can go on the other side, take off your lower fairing and take off the screw on that side, and then on the other side take the other screw off, and then you can just take that off. You have to do your own experience whether you want to move the radiator or not, but some of this stuff, if I was going to do it, I'll try to see if I can do it in place. But that is only do it that after you have drained the radiator fluid. Alright? Alright, stand by. We're going for the next phase in a second. Okay, what it was only a little snug, so I just used my pliers. And like you can kind of see, the prong is one of them's on the right for the black wire, and the one on the left is for the green wire. As you can kind of see, this is the inside of the housing. They fit right on top of those prongs, just like there and there and there. But remember, green wire on the left, black wire on the right, and that's your the bolt that you can have. And I'm gonna see if I can get a socket on there, a deep well socket that I can fit on there to get that off. I just gonna have to see if I might have to bend this back over a little bit so I can wind up and unscrew that. But now I'm at the phase now where I'm gonna drain some radiator fluid. Okay, for here, for my draining up my radiator fluid, I'm gonna drain it from the lower part of the hose, because you can kind of see the area I'm looking at is way up here. So all of that fluid that's up there is gonna drain all down from the radiator all the way down to this point. So it will be dry up in that area for me to take that thermostatic switch out. So I'm gonna loosen this band here and let it drain into my waste container here. Alright, let's drain some radiator fluid and I'll be right back. This is just an FYI. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Just to give you some points what I did. You notice my hoses here, but I brought this type of flexible piece that you can get for like putting around wires and stuff. Is a big fat piece. What this does, it helps keeps the hose from being struck and ripped by road debris. Now you also notice that I'm not taking the hose all the way off. I'm just stuck a little screwdriver up there after I loosen it, so they just drain gradually. I'm not in no hurry and I'm not paying myself by the hour. So I'm just taking my time. But I just want to bring you this FYI point here about this hose. If you don't have a hose guard or something on your radiator hose, lower radiator hose, remember you need to have something here, because if you break this hose, it's going to drain the whole entire system. Alright, that's just an FYI. We're still on the subject of changing the thermostatic switch. I just wanted to show this to you, FYI. Okay, YouTube, I've got the thermostatic switch out, and you can do it without moving the radiator. Again, once you get it out, you do have a little bit of water that's behind there that's going to want to drain out. Just have a rag handy to just kind of catch it, and it'll go right there by the where the two timing belt covers are, right there, and it'll just drain off. And good, I still have my pan down there. But here's the first. You can see it first here on YouTube on the Max 1 Chase 1 channel. I've never seen it on Google or anywhere. The socket set to fit this thermal switch is going to be a 27 millimeter. That's a large ass socket, and like I said, for that it's going to be a nice tight fit because of this little piece right here. Is going to have to push in a little bit for you to get that socket on there, and that's what I did. And like I said, I had a deep well socket with I say it's about 4 or 6 inch socket, extension on it, and then the ratchet. And what I did is just, it was snug on it, kind of snug, but like I say, this is your first. Again, no one says it, no one has it anywhere, but it takes a 27 millimeter socket to get that thermal switch off. Alright, so now all I got to do now is just wait until my new switch comes in the mail. eBay says it's supposed to be here tomorrow, so it took it 2 days. So there you have it. You can remove it without having to remove the radiator, and here's proof that you can do it. And like I say, I do things realistic. I don't wind up and I didn't show you me getting it off, but believe me, it comes off. I'm just gonna do the reverse, screw it back in by hand, and tighten up the radiator hose and fill the fluid, and we're gonna go from there. But taking the thermostat switch off is not that bad. Alright, and once you have your thermal switch off and you're ready to put the new one back on, just go in reverse of what I showed you or how to take it off. Try not to torque that thermostat inside the housing too tight, but just as long as it's snug. I don't know the foot pounds that you put it on there with a torque wrench, but I've never used a torque wrench and I never had any problem with anything leaking. But that do look like it's made of a soft aluminum, so just be careful with it and don't strip the threads on it. Alright, again YouTube, I hope this helped you out, and you can kind of see how good this worked out by removing the horn, because the horn was down to here and I didn't want it to have to be interfering with me when I had the pressure here and torquing the wrench. So again, hope this helped you. Max one thing out, chase another one. And also to Goldwing riders, I do appreciate you all watching and subscribing to the channel. Again, I'm not looking for, don't make no money, and I'm not looking for views, but as long as we can keep these bikes on the road, that's what it's all about. Again, I wanted to say I appreciate you and thank you for watching.